So I'm standing here at the Yodogawa River, technically the tributary that leads to the river, but it's a beautiful sight, and we are still in Osaka, Japan, and taking in just some of the beauty of the area. Kind of cool thing I wanted to point out before we talk about the lesson content. I just love seeing these turtles on this wall over here. There were more. Some got scared off and jumped off into the river, but just hanging out, catching some rays, I guess. We've seen some really big carp in the water, and really some beautiful just life, even around the city. So cool to see that. But as I'm looking at this particular river, I'm thinking about the lesson we're looking at today, which is the crossing of the Jordan River by Israel. And this was a very unique event for numerous reasons. Kind of looking back where we've come from, Israelites have just spent 40 years wandering in the wilderness, and now they're about to go into the promised land. But the older generation has passed away. Now there's a new generation. And this new generation didn't see the miracles that the older generation saw. They didn't see the 10 plagues or the crossing of the Red Sea and some of those other miracles. And so this miracle, and when they cross the Jordan River, will be something new to them, and something meant, I believe, to encourage them to put their faith in God, and then faith and put their trust in the leader God had raised up in Joshua. So this will be a good, unique event for them. And so we look at the event. Joshua tells the people to get ready. God's going to do a mighty act before your eyes. And then the day arrives, and they come to the Jordan River. The priests take the Ark of the Covenant into the river, and the river stops flowing. It heaps up upstream. It stops flowing, and most likely the people of Jericho could see this, being the fact Jericho was on a hill overlooking the area. That could be a big intimidation factor later on. But the water stops flowing, and the Israelites cross the Jordan River on dry ground. An amazing miracle that is meant to, again, encourage the Israelites that your God is the one true God. He controls all things, even natural things. He stopped the flow of the river. Put your faith in this God. Also, put your faith in the leader he had raised up in Joshua, that Joshua was God's chosen man to lead them into the promised land to accomplish God's purposes for God's glory. So it gives them encouragement on both accounts. We also see that after they cross the Jordan River, that they are commanded that a representative from each of the 12 tribes was to grab a stone from the river, bring it out, and to set up a 12-stone memorial, something to remind the Israelites of what God had done for them, to show, to remind them of His power in that particular event, and to give them faith for the future as they remember what God had done for them in the past, which I found in my personal life is a great thing to do on your own, to kind of set memorials in your life. Look back at where God has worked in amazing ways and reflect on those, and then let that bring encouragement to you as you live in the present and plan for the future. But also those 12 stones were meant to be more than just a reminder, but also something to spark questions from the younger generations. When the younger kids would see those 12 stones, when they see the memorial, they would ask about them. It was meant to be a time to have a conversation between older and younger generations, to remind the younger generations what God had done, stopping the Jordan River so they could cross on dry ground, and the miraculous power of God, and then eventually lead them into the promised land. Those 12 stones were meant to be a memorial to remember who God is and what He has done, and to put their faith in Him for all the generations to come would be, of course, the hope and the plan. And of course, we have the 12 stones memorial set up at the Ark Encounter to, again, remind us what God has done to put our faith in Him. And we think of the Ark as a very similar thing, to just be a reminder of God's power, His judgment, and His provision, and His ultimate salvation in Christ and Christ alone. So as we talk about this event, let's be, of course, reminded again of God's incredible power, His power of creation as we see here with the turtles, with the fish, with all the life around us, His power over creation. He can part the Red Sea. He can stop the Jordan River. He is God. That's not a problem for Him at all. And also to be reminded to remember what God has done for us in our lives, to reflect on that, and let that give us encouragement in the present and faith for the future, that He will always do what He has called, that He will always do what He has planned to do through us for His glory. So hope that's good stuff to you. Hope it's encouraging to you. Hope this has been as beautiful to you as it's been to me, and you guys have a wonderful day.